Hello, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Today is my first Lorwyn Eclipsed video, and to start things off, we are going to be playing some Abhorrent Oculus alongside the new Emptiness Elemental Incarnation. Before I talk a little bit about the deck, help me out, subscribe up if you haven't done so already, and more importantly, leave a comment down below. Lorwyn Eclipsed has just released, so you guys have been trying out a whole bunch of new decks, I'm sure. Let me know what has been working for you and what has not been working for you. So this is based on a deck that I actually played a few times, I think, but most recently when Avatar came out, we tried a Jeskai Lessons version of the deck where we were using Helping Hand to bring back a creature card of mana value 3 or less from the graveyard. Most of the time that was the Abhorrent Oculus, but we also have the backup in the Benevolent River Spirit. We're still running both of these cards because we got this new card, Emptiness. This thing is going to be another reanimation tool for us. This thing is a 3/5 Elemental Incarnation for 6 mana, but it says you can evoke it for 2 mana. If you pay white, we can return a creature card with mana value 3 or less from our graveyard to the battlefield. If we use black, we can put 3 -1/-1 counters on target creature. So it can serve as some removal for our deck, but for the most part, we're going to be using that as a second Helping Hand. Then we are also playing a new card called Twilight Diviner. This thing is so super sweet. 3/3 for 3 elf cleric. When this creature enters, we get to surveil 2, which is good because we want to be filling our graveyard. Then, whenever one or more creatures you control enter, if they entered or were cast from a graveyard, create a token that's a copy of one of them. This ability triggers only once a turn, which is not a big deal. So that means if we do manage to get a Oculus back through a Helping Hand, we get to have 2 Oculus on the field. Oculi? Maybe that's what I want to say. The rest of the deck is kind of ways to enable all of this stuff. Overlord of the Baelmerk is going to help us put stuff into the graveyard. Winter Night Stories is a great card that allows us to discard some of these Oculus or Benevolent River Spirits that we have in hand into our graveyard so that we can reanimate them. We have a couple of copies of Split Up. I've been going back and forth on what kind of removal I want for this deck. You know, in Standard, sometimes our opponents go way too wide these days, so I feel like we need some kind of board wipe in this. If we notice that the opponent is putting out a whole bunch of elves, we need to ease up and just let them load up the board so we can wipe it. I don't know if Split Up is the best choice, if we should be going maybe like Black Sun, I think is what that card is called. Maybe Day of Black Sun could be good. Originally I had this card in here, but then I replaced it for Split Up because I didn't want to be blowing up my manifest creatures that are created from the Oculus. Tricky one. We could also maybe go with Day of Judgment if we really wanted to just have a nice solid board wipe to wipe out everything, if we're just going to be sandbagging, waiting for the opponent to load up the field and then wiping it. We don't necessarily load up the field very much because we are really just waiting to throw out the Oculus, then we load up our field, so we can play board wipes in this deck, I think. We do have 4 copies of Bitter Triumph to also help remove some creatures from the opponent's side of the field. This thing also allows us to discard the River Spirit or Oculus into the graveyard if need be, and then 4 more copies of No More Lies. The mana base is something that is a little bit questionable. Currently, I have 20 white sources in the deck because we do have a lot of white requirements with this double Split Up, with the double Emptiness. We need to be able to hit our white things on time. But we also do have double black in the Overlord of the Baelmerk if we don't impend it, which I don't think we're going to not impend it, but it's still a thing to consider. So we have 12 sources of blue and 13 sources of black. I don't know if the mana base is where it needs to be right now. We are playing a whole bunch of these surveil lands, so that will help us fill up our graveyard as well. Makes us a little bit slower, but it is probably going to be fine. So that is the game plan. We're going to see how this one goes out. It is definitely an early preliminary build of the deck, but I think there's something here, and we just got to tune it up a little bit. I have a feeling Emptiness is going to be seen in a ton of decks. See you over in the games. All right, game number 1 on camera with Lorwyn Eclipsed, hoping also to see some new fun stuff from our opponents. I think that's always something you kind of hope. Okay, we got a couple of surveil lands. That's good. We have all of our colors. We have some interaction and a way of getting the Abhorrent Oculus into the graveyard. So I think this hand looks fine. I don't like it against a Fanatical Firebrand, though, because that is some early aggression from the opponent, and Yeah, we might be in a little bit of trouble if we keep drawing lands. If you can, or if you did skip the intro and you missed my little speech, sub up. That's all I'm going to say. And let me know what you guys think about Lorwyn Eclipsed. What kind of cards did you guys open? Would love to know. Okay, we got this Razorkin Needlehead on the field hitting us. So I think probably I'm going to do it now. There's no point in waiting. And we have the Abhorrent Oculus helping hand next turn, so maybe we can make something big happen. I think once we get the Oculus onto the field against a mono-red opponent, and is it opponent, it could be a pretty good position. Especially since next turn we're going to be able to hold up the No More Lies in addition to bringing out the Oculus. Okay, they have a Tursa, so that does hurt. That's 4 damage to our face, and we're also going to have to shock in one of these lands, probably, unless we draw a basic. We drew a basic. Can I? Yes, I can do this. No, I can't. I need 2 white sources. I really want to hold the No More Lies, and that might seem crazy, but I think the amount of advantage that I'm going to get from having this Abhorrent Oculus on the field for a turn is going to be pretty massive. So we need to keep it on the field. People are maybe running... It's not called Seer. I think there's a new... I think there's a new red card that deals 5 damage to something. I might be mistaken, but I know we definitely got Seer in the format. I will take the damage here. I'd rather keep my Twilight Diviner for future things, maybe when I can turn it up. And there's the Scalding Viper. They want to return it to hand. We are definitely going to be countering that. Okay, so it was definitely worth it to take 2 damage from the Hollowed Fountain, even though that kind of sucked. But hey, it is what it is. And we have a Benevolent River Spirit now, which we can't do anything with, but maybe in future turns we'll be able to put that down. This deck does not have any kind of life gain, so we are kind of at a spot where we just have to chill for a little bit. We have to build a nice board and then hope the opponent doesn't have burn, I guess. We are also filling our graveyard, so if we do find another Abhorrent Oculus and put it in the graveyard, maybe we can bring it out, and it would be really nice with this Twilight Diviner on the field. If we can get 2 more Oculi on the field, whew, we'll be in good shape. I think we're going to be in trouble, though, against this opponent. Okay. So, just a Needle Head is not the worst thing for us. We'll flip up our Twilight Diviner. They might have removal. Maybe I shouldn't have done that because now they're kind of eyeing it up. Okay. We have another Twilight Diviner. So I can actually cast this out, but it costs so much to do. So I don't think we're going to be doing that. Instead, we will just put the Diviner onto the field. And I don't think there's anything that I have in my deck that's good. That's actually really good. I was going to say, too bad. If I had better forethought and I knew I was going to surveil, what I should have done was put out this swamp, tapped these 3 lands for the Twilight Diviner, and left this mana up so that I could turn the Benevolent River Spirit face up when I turn it into an Oculus on this next turn. Or turn it into a manifest creature with the Oculus on the next turn. But wasn't quite thinking far enough ahead. There's the Lightning Strike, and we might just be toast because now we have like a 4-turn clock. Okay, but we're still going to take the Benevolent River Spirit, and they're at 20 life. There's 4 damage. Cool. All right, so at least we saw the deck kind of do the thing that we wanted it to do. But unfortunately, against mono red, we didn't have enough removal to stop the stuff that was coming out, and then they just got off to too good of a start. We took, we were down to 8 before we can get the Oculus on the field. But proof of concept, it looked okay. Let's see if we can do a little bit better. Okay, opening hand, we have ways of, okay, Bitter Triumph allows us to put something into the graveyard. We have our Revival, or our, what do you want to call it? Reanimation, that's the word I'm looking for. And we also have the Overlord of the Baelmerk possibly on turn 2. So, I mean, this looks kind of cool. If we end up putting the Benevolent River Spirit into the graveyard with the Bitter Triumph, then we get out the Twilight Diviner on turn 3. Okay, we can see maybe a double Benevolent River Spirit. Okay, Emptiness is a weird one. I don't think I want the Emptiness. The reason I don't want the Emptiness is because I need lands. This says you may return a non-avatar creature card from your graveyard. So we can bring back stuff with the Overlord of the Bailmerk. We can bring back we can bring back the Emptiness with the Overlord of the Bailmerk. Am I going to hold up the Bitter Triumph, or am I going to run out the Overlord of the Bailmerk here? I think we do this because if we end up hitting an Oculus, it's going to be a lot better reanimation target. So, yeah, sure, we'll bring back the Emptiness this time around. We're going to play it nice and slowly. They're on green, so it's possibly a Cub deck. So maybe we have a little bit of time, and I think it's fine to do... I want to do the thing. Maybe this is suboptimal because, you know, we're taking a turn off here. Yeah, let's put the Twilight Diviner into the graveyard. We could... Oh. Okay, next turn, we're doing fun stuff. Next turn, we're doing... Oh, it's going to be cool. Oh, don't do that, though. Opponent, please, don't ramp too hard. If they have an Ouroboride here, that's going to be pretty bad news. Please don't. Oh, of course, they always have the Ouroboride. So now I can't do the coolest thing, because now I have to get rid of the Ouroboride, because you just can't leave that. What I wanted to do was Emptiness for the Twilight Diviner into the Abhorrent Oculus. But I can't, right? Yeah, I can't. Okay. We'll discard the Benevolent. Leaving white, just making sure. That's such a shame that we couldn't do the coolest thing. It would have been so much better to get 3 Abhorrent Oculuses on the field. 2 is going to be good enough. Do we attack? Next turn, we can bring back this with this one, so I don't think I want to attack yet. We'll make 2 manifest. Let's see what we put underneath it. It doesn't matter, does it? Grab the land. I don't know. Maybe I should be putting the No More Lies underneath that, because then... Yeah, sure. Then the opponent doesn't know that I have No More Lies in my deck, because by putting 1 in the graveyard, I'm kind of revealing that, yes, there are No More Lies in this deck at some point or somewhere. We might just be dead, though. And this is a... We're doing fun stuff. I think this new set is going to have a little bit of a hard time because of how powerful the field is. Does this card... This land can't be blocked. It just can't be blocked? Secret Tunnel says this land can't be blocked? That's just a line of text on that card? Okay. So this time around, let's Emptiness one more time. We're going to be greedy. We're going to go with... It's going to make me pay it? That's weird. We're going to go this way, bring back the Benevolent River Spirit, grab 2 of them, and we get double scry. We don't want either of those lands. We're going to hold up the No More Lies. No More Lies could be okay for us. The problem is, I don't think I want any of these cards. The problem is the opponent could possibly have enough mana to pay for the No More Lies, right? Okay, we are going to attack in. We are presenting lethal for the next turn. No, I don't attack in, do I? They have so much reach. Interesting. Maybe we take 1 more turn off and then we go on the following turn. We do get to flip up maybe this Benevolent River Spirit on the following turn. So no attack yet. Man, Leyline Weavers. And they made so many of them. Where did all these Leyline... They just happened to draw all 4 Leyline Weavers against my Oculus deck. That sucks. Winter Night Story is going to be very good, though. We find all of our Winter Night Stories. This card in particular is good, I think, in this deck because of the Harmonize we put in the graveyard. We can use our Abhorrent Oculus to do some cool stuff. The opponent, 1 card left in hand. They have near infinite mana. It's a scrap shooter. So I don't care. Maybe they destroy my Overlord of the Bailmerk. and they're gonna gift me a card for that, I think I'm okay with that, right? Notably, another reach creature from our opponent. And if they end up finding an Ouroboride, or if they end up finding the Behemoth, we're kind of toast, right? We can't block this Secret Tunnel that's attacking in. Secret Tunnel. But we do get another one of these, which is a pretty good attacker. What do we have in our graveyard? Oh, not a whole lot. So let's start off doing this. Winter Night Story, draw, draw, draw. We find not a whole lot. Okay, we do have an untapped land, so we can... do we do the fun thing? Yeah, why not, right? Okay, let's attack with all of these first. Go Benevolent River Spirits. The opponent will have a hard time blocking these. Not really. I guess they put the 3/3 and the 2/2 Leyline Weavers in front of two of the River Spirits, but they can start coming back. Like, you don't necessarily want to be killing that River Spirit so that it goes into the graveyard. They just take it. Okay. I'm going to do the fun thing now. Okay. Convoke, or evoke, rather. White, white. I don't know why it's been doing this. All of these make white. We need so much white in our deck. That's why I put all this white in the deck. We'll grab the Twilight Diviner. Boom, onto the field. This is going to make 2 more. Bitter Triumph, okay, maybe for future turns. Helping Hand, cool. Okay, sure. We'll leave it there. Opponent says, nice deck. Thank you, buddy. We'll pay 2. We get a whole bunch of Benevolent River Spirits. We want both of those cards, I think, on top. And this is kind of the cool thing. Okay, okay, okay. So now we just have to fade. I haven't said fade for such a long time. We just have to fade a Behemoth, because I think that probably kills me. An Ouroboride probably doesn't do it for the opponent. So they have 1 draw. We have just a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Benevolent River Spirits. Yeah, I forgot about this. I always make this mistake and forget that my Oculi are going to manifest things, and of course that's going to be a big problem for me. It's a Gene Pollinator from the opponent, and we get Mbinito. I don't think there's anything that they can possibly do here. They could attack in with a Secret Tunnel. I'm so satisfied. Can they pump it up? Oh, they can give some of their creatures oh no. They can give creatures unblockable. They do have a ton of mana. Let's see if they can do it. I don't know. No, okay, they're not even going to bother. Okay, opponent, fun. Let's just send the crew. I should have, before blocks, I should have turned up the one face down. I'm going to highlight this one just to make them think that it's maybe one of these ones. As long as they don't guess the correct face down card, we should be okay. No. Okay. They did go with the wrong one. And we get another Oculus. Oh, it's such a cool board, isn't it? Beating the Badger Mole Cub deck feels very satisfying, of course. But I think, in ways, we did get lucky that we found the Bitter Triumph when we needed it for that Ouroboride. That thing was probably going to get out of control. And the fact that they did not find their Crater Hoof when they definitely had a ton of mana for it, that's also crazy, right? We could have lost that one pretty easily. We were pretty slow, but hey, look I want to just marvel at how cool this board is. Okay, so 2 games in a row, we kind of did the thing, even though the first game, it didn't really work out for us because the opponent was fast, but we were doing the thing. Second game, we were able to do the thing and survive long enough to see that wide board. Hang on a second. My elk turns into a blob? I never noticed that. Okay. Guess what, boys? We hit it. Shadowy Backstreet into the Abhorrent Oculus into turn 2 Oculus. That's what you want to see. Ooh, I don't think I want that, actually. Because I do have the Emptiness. Yeah, we don't care. Second Oculus. Next turn, we can put down the island, hold up the No More Lies, flip up another Oculus if there's nothing for us to counter. This is so beautiful. This is why you play a deck like this. It's so good. And if they kill the manifest creature, they're going to just be putting it into the graveyard for us to bring it back. So things are looking real good. Okay. Balmor, cool card. Very cool card. Battle Mage Captain. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, creatures you control get +1/+0 and trample until the end of turn. Love this card. But you know what I love more? Having 2 Oculi on the field. And we're just hitting all the good stuff. You love it when your Abhorrent Oculus is like land, No More Lies. It's so depressing. But when your Abhorrent Oculus hits money like it is right now, it feels so good. Enter the Enigma. Very good card from the opponent. They are going to get blown out here, and I feel really bad for the opponent in ways, because they're going to double attack. Abhorrent Oculus. Block. That's a concede. Not a concede. Opponent, you are brave. Okay. We're 1 point of damage short, because I guess we could have flipped up this Benevolent River Spirit, but what a performance. What a performance. Love Oculus. The high rolls in this deck, they feel high. Holy cow, right? Okay, opening hand. We do have the turn 2 Overlord of the Balemark. We have the Emptiness with the white mana. I think it's okay. We're not going to be able to put the Benevolent River Spirit into the graveyard very easily, but I think this is fine. And we don't want to go with this. Do we? Actually, I don't think it matters, because this we'll put in, and the next turn we'll do the Overlord of the Balemark. Do I want to keep the Hallowed Fountain? Yeah, sure. We'll draw up to 4 lands. I think that's fine. The opponent is on Auras. Auras might give us a lot of trouble, actually. If they end up finding the Sheltered by Ghosts, they can remove some of our key pieces, and we just put 2 Bitter Triumphs into the graveyard to be able to remove this Spellbook Vendor. So last game we high rolled. This game we might be low rolling. Oh no. Double Spellbook Vendor is not the scariest thing. That's a little bit scarier. Also, a little unfortunate that our Overlord didn't put anything for our Emptiness into the graveyard, and we just find another River Spirit. Okay. Has to be an Oculus. Okay. Do we grab this? Or do we... Does the Twilight Diviner trigger on itself? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's leave it in the graveyard. We'll put in a tap land. If we survive, I think this game is pretty much cooked. But at least we get to find out whether or not the Twilight Diviner will trigger. I don't know how that works. So whenever this creature... Whenever one or more creatures you control enter... Will this be on the field when it enters? I don't think it double triggers. I don't think so. That's my bet. We might not survive to the next turn to find out. They are going to get 13 damage on us. So this game was dead, toast. We drew a little bit too slowly. The opponent had a nice little start here at 14. Did I say 13? 14 damage. And... there's not a whole lot we can do. I suppose if I draw a split up here, we can win. Okay. It would have had to be split up. So let's find out what happens here. Now I'm thinking, I think I forgot about... Yeah, well, there it is. Oculus. 1 Twilight Diviner. Did I have the opportunity to use the Emptiness to kill the Spellbook Vendor? I think I probably did. And I don't know if it would have mattered because they did end up having 2 spellbook vendors on the field, and they possibly could have had some protection, whatever. But I got to remember that this ability exists. Okay, opponent. Aura's good deck. I posted my run with the mono white Aura's deck last night. This is the following morning after that video. And I haven't looked at the comments yet. Usually I record a video right away when I wake up instead of looking at comments and doing all that good stuff. But I wonder what people say. I still think that this deck is fantastic for climbing. You just got to put it in your games and you'll find a nice streak of games and you'll be able to mow down opponents with it. Look how efficient it is. By the way, a little quick bit of advice for all of you out there. So there seems to be a little bit of a bug with the... I shouldn't have put that out. I should have put the other one out. Okay, yeah, I'm going to get... Now I'm punished because I was focused on something else. I definitely should have put this one out. I wanted to, but I messed up. There's a little bit of a bug with the... I think it's fine to wait a turn. The Mastery Pass. And if on level 4 of the Mastery Pass, you're supposed to get 3 Lorwyn Eclipsed packs. But if you open... Oh, boy. Once you get to level 4, some people are getting Edge of Eternities packs, which is what I got. So I actually woke up this morning. I saw on Reddit some people saying that they contacted support and said, hey, I got Lorwyn Eclipse packs, or I didn't get my Lorwyn Eclipse packs, rather I got my Edge of Eternities packs, and that they should just contact support, and support is going to give them that. And I just got a message back right away that said exactly that. Thank you for your patience while we work with you on this. I have granted the following items to your arena account: 3 Lorwyn Eclipse packs. I also opened my Edge of Eternities pack, so keep that in mind. So yeah, it's something to maybe message support. All I did was through here, I reported a bug and they got back to me on it. So not the worst thing to try to do. Okay, the opponent is beating us down. They took out our Abhorrent Oculus, so 5 damage went there instead of on our face. That's good news. We do have the Bitter Triumph to remove maybe the Bastronaut next turn because it's going to be getting double strike and I can't allow it to do that. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to do. That's all I got. So let's put the Surveil land onto the field. I don't like that. I don't think it's going to help me survive. And then I think probably we're back on defense, although this thing is not really going to be able to do too much. Is this not the greatest manifest creature? You can't turn it up or do anything very easily in this deck. I guess if we get to 5 mana, we could, but I don't think we would. And they are attacking with the team. Let's see if they pump the Bastronaut. I don't want to put this in front of the Hired Claw because then they just pump the Hired Claw that I put there. But then that's less damage on my face. Okay, we'll see. No block. Are they going to pump? I think I have to, right? I have to discard. I have to save 2 damage here. If they end up pumping the Hired Claw, I think it's not such a big deal to take 3 damage this turn, go down to 9. But we're going to be in a weird spot. I need to hit a Helping Hand. I need to hit an Emptiness on the following turn. That's pretty much the only thing that's going to help us. That's not good enough. I think it's worth it to do the Winter Night Stories because we could possibly get the Helping Hand. There it is. Yeah, that's fine. And we can bring back the Oculus. So we get a little bit of a defense going. But we are kind of shields down. We only have our 2 manifest creatures on the field. The Abhorrent Oculus going to be playing defense next turn, but not this turn. And we are down to 9. Kellen could pump himself up, right? I'm not overly familiar with this card. So if they spend 2 mana, it'll go into something. If Kellen is a scout, it becomes a human fairy detective. Sure. We're going to mitigate as much damage as we possibly can. And maybe take 3 from the Hired Claw. If we take 3, they could possibly have the burn to bring us down to 0. There's the Bolt Wave, and maybe they had the Shock. So we're losing this deck. Okay. Seems to lose to Mono Red. Mono Red giving us some problem. Maybe we need to find some kind of life gain in this deck somewhere, because we are taking quite a bit of damage from our Shock lands. So far, these No More Lies have been very ineffective. I will say that. I wonder how different the game would have been if I had not played that wrong land on turn 1. I think playing that land on turn 1 actually was a big misplay for us, because it meant that on turn 2 I couldn't put the Hollow Fountain onto the field and use the Emptiness to bring back the Oculus. When I brought back the Oculus on turn 3, they had 2 spells to be able to burn it down. Had I done it on a different turn, I don't like that other hand. Maybe something could have happened there. Okay, let's pitch the card that we can't necessarily use and just hope that we can get maybe the Benevolent River Spirit into the graveyard with the Bitter Triumph, then Twilight Diviner onto the field for double Emptiness trigger, I guess, something like that. That's the plan. Okay, we are against Cub. Kind of got to expect lots and lots and lots of Cub. I'm going to shock this in so that we can put the Abhorrent Oculus into the graveyard with the Bitter Triumph. I'm assuming this is going to be a Cub. It's not a Cub. Okay. I think I'm still going to hit the Leyline Weaver. Sure. Leyline Weaver's a lot worse than the Llanowar Elf. They get a Gene Pollinator out from the Llanowar Elf. Not a big deal. Who cares? And we missed on that. So I suppose the only thing to do is Emptiness on turn 3. Why are you making me pay it? Just auto-tap it. We get back our Oculus, and hopefully it sticks on the field. It starts making manifest creatures, good ones as well. 2 lands. We kind of wanted those. But yeah. Last game, putting out the Undercity Sewers, I think it was, probably was the thing that really made the game unwinnable. Okay, the opponent has the Ouroboride. We do have, though, a Bitter Triumph. We can get rid of it now. They could have protection. They have 1 card left in hand. Is this really going to be protection with their last card? Ooh, they scared me a little bit there. And we still don't have... blue source, but we now have a helping hand. Okay, you know what? I'm going to keep the helping hand. I'm going to attack. If these manifest creatures... Every time. What's the point of leaving cards on the top of your library? Why? That's some BS right there. Guaranteed that the opponent top decked that orb. I can't guarantee it. They had 2 cards left in hand. It felt like a top deck. It always feels like a dirty top deck. So now we're dead, right? We'll keep the Emptiness. How much damage are we going to take next turn? So if I attack, they're going to hit me for lethal damage. All right. I did it again. That's 3 times in a row. I mean, what do? You put the helping hand in the grave. I guess you don't want to see your good cards on the top of your library. Did I need to attack that last turn? I was dead, right? No matter what. I could block 2... Yeah, I block here, and then I block here. I think I needed to keep the Oculus. It doesn't matter. So, split up. Yes! Yes, baby! Destroy all tapped creatures. Get out of here. We hit it. We hit the split up. I'm grinning. And he was grinning ear to ear. Okay. Now let's see the opponent pull another Ouroboride off the top. No, find Mana Dorks. Mana Dorks, yes. Get punished for running manadork.deck. We got a chump block here. That's fine. Blue source? It's a blue source. We put it into the graveyard, of course. And I guess we don't get too greedy. We could attack with both. They would have to chump block with the Gene Pollinator, but I think it's fine just to do it this way. And maybe, just maybe, That top deck was the thing that saved us. Utah, I'm sorry. I go against Utah quite a bit. It's a recognizable name for me, and that was, ooh, if Utah ever watches it, I'm sorry for that top deck, but thank you for giving me the experience. Calling it and then hitting it feels so good. All right, game number 7. This is the make or break for this deck. We are 3-3 against Burley Kim Luis. And opening hand looks okay. We have our reanimation. We have our way of potentially putting something into the graveyard with the Overlord of the Baelmerk. And if we get up to 3 mana, we can at very least pitch the Benevolent River Spirit to the Winter Night Stories. But the opponent is on an Otters deck, Azorius Otters? Oh no, Azorius aggro, we're toast. Them going first with that kind of deck is bad news. All we can do. Oculus, please. Oculus, Oculus. Every time Oculus. No Oculus. So now we're hoping that the shadowy backstreet is going to be able to surveil something into the graveyard, and that's really my only hope. All right. I think we're done. We're toast. We probably lost it. But you know what? Even though the deck is not performing like super well, not winning tons of games, I'm having a whole lot of fun with this deck. I wish more people were able. Man, Wizards really needs to figure out the economy in this game. Give people double. You've doubled the amount of product that you're putting into the game, double the amount of rewards, maybe even triple. Oh, you were one off. Triple the amount of rewards that people can get. Allow people to craft more cards. That's something. Craft more cards. When people can craft more cards, they're going to make more interesting things. They're going to have more fun. You're not going to just have everybody running lessons and Badger Mole Cub decks because that's the only thing they're willing to craft, because everything else would cost them a couple $100 to invest into a digital game. I have so much more fun when I'm playing against weird things. Even seeing this, I love what they're doing. Drake Hatcher, such a cool card. Who wants to craft Drake Hatcher outside of psychos like me? So now there's slight hope that we can possibly recover here. Nothing in the graveyard that's notable, but if we do find a land, untapped land, we could go Baelmerk into a potential Emptiness number 2. We'll see. The problem is this. All right, just get rid of Shelter by Ghost too. The list of cards that I would love to see removed from the game is about 25 long. That I just want to see a new standard. I think I'm tired. I want standard to rotate a lot faster. So I can't block here. I could block here. Do I have to? Yeah, sure. Can't let them make more Drakes. Even a split up doesn't really do it for me, because what am I going to do? And I think that's about it. I can put out a second Abhorrent Oculus. Doesn't matter what 6. And we can do this, but we are kind of just dead. I guess we're not dead on board yet. Do they have the third Shelter by Ghost? What do you think? I wouldn't put it past the opponent. Oh, they're getting frisky. Going to combat means they have combat tricks, maybe. So we're going to block here. We're going to block over here. We're going to take 3 damage. But if they have a pump for the Drake Hatcher, we're dead. Secret Identity. GG, opponent. I don't mind going down that way. We had a bad start. They had all the answers. What can you really do about that? Okay, so we end up going 3-4. But hey, deck feels kind of good. There's potential here. Let's go talk about it. Okay, so unfortunately the Oculus deck not having a winning record, but I still think we saw it do a lot of the cool things. And the Twilight Diviner plus Emptiness is awesome. I think there's no doubt that this is an cool way to go. We definitely need, obviously, Helping Hand, and Abhorrent Oculus is, you know, a keystone part of the deck. Overlord of the Baelmerk, although it was kind of whiffing for us in a lot of these games, I think it also definitely belongs in this deck. Where I'm kind of questioning things is maybe with these two cards here, I think even the Benevolent River Spirit might not be the optimal choice for this deck, and maybe our split up could be something else, although it kind of does work. Split up's probably not bad to have in the deck overall. But I think No More Lives was the card that really fell the flattest for me. It's very matchup dependent. It would be much more suited to a best of 3 thing, and I was kind of expecting more board wipes or I don't know, something. But people have, the Cub decks are going to have so much mana when we want to No More Lies something. They're probably going to be able to pay 7 for their Oculus, or not Oculus, for their Ouroboride, for example, with the No More Lies. Not such a big deal. So this might be something that's better replaced with either more ways of filling the graveyard, or maybe, I don't know, maybe more like maybe a life-linking creature. Definitely like getting run over was how we were losing these games, right? We kind of got run over by mono red twice. The mono red decks just too much aggression too early on. We couldn't slow them down, and then they were able to find just enough power to finish the game. So if we were able to find like 1 or 2 like repetitive life gain sources, that could be the difference maker in those kinds of matchups. We also got smashed down by the Auras deck. The Auras deck is just going to kind of do that. They're going to get massive creatures, but we could chump block their creatures for a long time. We just need a way of slowing them down. Again, No More Lies, not really effective in that kind of situation. And then that final game was also against aggro. So we lost, the 4 games that we lost were to aggro matchups. Kind of weird. The Winter Night Stories I think is great because of the Harmonize. I just don't necessarily like the sorcery speed. There is another card that just came out. I can't remember what it's called, but it's 3 mana, and I'm not going to be able to find it easily. It is Thirst for Identity. Draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature card. It is essentially the exact same thing as Winter Night Stories. What happened? Oh, okay. The cards, I think, jumped down, yeah. It's essentially the exact same thing as Winter Night Stories, but we don't get the Harmonize. Since we are putting cards into the graveyard with the Overlord of the Baelmerk, maybe the Harmonize is actually super important, but I think Thirst for Identity is not a terrible budget option. The instant speed thing might be more relevant if we were leaning more into holding up counter magic, but I think I want to get rid of the counter magic. This is not really feeling too good in the deck right now. We just kind of want to do our thing and hope that the opponent doesn't have the board wipe. Yeah. So anyways, proof of concept, I think, yes, there's something here. Initial games kind of worked. You get aggroed down. What can you do? That's the deal with this one. So let me know what you thought about this one. Let me know if you have any advice, and if there are other cards that are from Lorwyn Eclipsed that you'd like to see decks on. I think this is a good start. Plenty more from Lorwyn Eclipsed to experiment with, I know for sure. So I'll see you in the next videos next week. Have a good weekend. Take care for now. Sarang Ipana, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.